This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alec, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations as we explore the world around us. War
never changes.
What is it good for? Cancer treatment. Where my
Changes every once in a while.
Yeah. Nuclear threat.
My ass.
Russia? What do all these things have in common? Death. Wrong! Oh, okay. They're all scenarios which could lead to the zombie apocalypse, according to many, many medias and movies.
Wait, my ass?
I mean, boy, you got a dumpy.
All right, come on.
Like, they be biting. You know what I'm saying? First thing the zombies eat.
All right.
First thing I'm going to go for. You better hope we ain't trapped together in an apocalypse. Anyways. So, boys. Zombie apocalypse. Something that's been around forever. I forgot who originally did it. Was it Hancock? No, it was not Hancock.
George A. Romero, 1968.
It was Romero. I knew it. Okay. Anyways, back with Romero was the first time the concept ever was brought up. Or at least brought to the big screen where people could see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Day of the Dead. I don't know if any of you've seen it. It was really weird. It was a really weird movie because these motherfuckers just rise from the ground and started eating people. Or killing them.
Yeah.
Zombie is part of a lot of religions. As we talked about the vampire thing. Part of a lot of cultures. Zombies are usually done with magic. Some media claims it's done through like experiments on the body. Rand also brought that up in the vampire one.
Mm-hmm.
Nuclear war, biological weapons. A lot of things can cause zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone that I've known that have been boys, I don't think I've ever talked to a girl about it, has some idea of what would happen during the zombie apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
People die.
Yeah. They have their own like little zombie plans, right?
Yeah.
I have a bunker.
Is this what the episode's about? Are we going to describe in detail our zombie plans?
Yes, sir. We are going to describe in detail our zombie plans. All right. And I want to start with Xavier.
Oh, come on, dude.
Well, I talk to Randy I live with Randy. So I know some of his plans, right?
Right.
I'm just going to make it up as I go right now.
But I got you. I got a couple questions to help lead your ideas, starting with where's the first place you're going to go?
First place I'm going to go.
Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. Let's go a little bit before that. You hear on the news or you start hearing word about it. Do you believe it right away?
I mean, if there was live verified footage that was live of a scenario of it happening, I would probably believe it. Yes,
it would have to be like what's the movie with Brad Pitt?
World War Z.
World War Z, where I would have like the footage would have to be the dude getting bit by someone. And then the camera stays on him and he falls down and he looks like he's dead. And then you see him like reanimate. Or if someone shoots him, like he gets shot in the chest like 8 times. A lot of blood, and then he reanimates. It would have to be something like that because we've had zombie scares countless times in the last like 12 years. Where people are just high on a new drug or a synthetic drug that they took too much of. Bad salts, stuff like that. So yeah, it would have to be something where I literally see someone get bit, and like they reanimate for me to like fully believe it.
Right.
I think that's fair. I think I would agree. I would have to see some. I don't think I need that extreme of footage, but I would like. Let's say one of the scariest movies to me is like 28 Days Later, where the zombies are like super fast and super like rabid. Yeah, I see that shit. Yeah, I'd believe it real quick. So now it goes to the part where you now know zombies are real. Where's the first place to go?
That one's a tough one. Because I feel like, you want to have weapons, but like if it's not necessarily a big problem or a big problem in your area yet, I think the first place that I would go would just find some sort of building that I could kind of like take over that had all the necessary things for survival. A good location, safe building, and then just kind of go from there.
See, that is a hard one.
I think location's everything, honestly.
Because if it's not a full-blown panic, it changes what's happening. Because I can't go like as cool as it would be to like you scout, like you probably can go scout buildings. Like if shit pops off, this is where I'm gonna go. My first instinct would be a Target or Walmart that has a pharmacy and grocery that you can try to like fortify and control. But if it's like we find out now in our current place and time, my first place would be to some kind of scrapyard that has scrap metal and things to fortify the place I already live. So we take our truck, we run to a scrapyard, get as much sheet metal and bars and whatever we could find, and fortify the windows. Like we're in a brick-ish house, so they're not going to break in. I'm not worried about them breaking in through the brick. But you fortify the windows, fortify the doors, and then it would be trying to scavenge. I did take medicine before food, for trading and for just health reasons. But yeah, it would be medicine, then food and water.
I agree. I think I would go get supplies to try to.
Well, that's the thing, right? Mass hysteria. If you gotta think. I mean, even with the last with the pandemic we just went through, you know what I'm saying? Like, mass hysteria ensued pretty quickly. And
that's
like,
why
there wasn't even any sort of like footage or anything like that. It was just word of like media and things like that. Like, if there was footage, it would almost instantaneous hysteria throughout everywhere. So you wouldn't even be able to probably do that.
I think like I would still attempt to get something or some things, right? Because like worst comes to worst, you don't get anything. Like there's no, unless it was like patient zero was in your city, right? There is no negative thing to happen to you if you go and try, right?
Right.
Like if it looks too dangerous because people started looting or something, or like you just couldn't get anything, yeah, just shit out of luck, you leave, right? You go to plan B, which is probably try and fortify wherever you're living. You know what I'm saying? Or find a building where you can fortify and gather your people.
See, my issue with the panic and everything and going straight to a store to get supplies is you're more likely to die from someone else than a zombie in that scenario.
Right.
Because
hence why I said if it looks too dangerous, you just leave.
Like I wouldn't even go to a store. If like it starts freaking out, people are freaking out, I'm not even going to a store. I'm looking in my area, in my house, on what I can fill up with water while water's still running. Dictating what food we have, what supplies we have, getting everything situated in order, and then, like I said, fortifying. Because people are going to try to break into people's house because they're going to realize the same thing, that it is going to be next to impossible unless you have a group of people and artillery to go and steal or take stuff from a store, because someone is going to fortify that store before you get there.
Yep.
Like probably the people who are working are going to do it, especially if it's like a Walmart or something that sells guns. They're not leaving. They're going to tell their family, everybody's going to call and say, family, get here. We have guns. We have fortified. We're not going to let anybody in. That's what I would do. If I was like a manager at a Walmart, I'd be like, yo, call your families, tell them to get here. They have an hour. Everybody's getting a gun. We're locking down.
All right.
And
that's that would be the tough thing, right? Is like, And that's why I was saying, like, me, the first thing is, like, location is everything. Like, you'd have to find a good spot that you can get to the things that you need, that have, things in nature, like good land, good water nearby that hopefully stays good. Things like that you'd wanna really, really, really look at first, I think, before anything. Making fortifications or adjustments on the go, all that stuff. Like, that stuff that can always be done at any time because the world's gonna forever be changing. People are gonna be dying. Zombies are gonna be roaming. Things are gonna happen. Like,
and I think where we're currently at, or even if we were like in Marshfield, a small town, Wisconsin, like where we're currently at, like we could see people coming for miles behind us. So our only worry would be the front. Just because like there's a house to our right, house to our left, and a cul-de-sac. So it'd be worrying about people coming that way because they come behind us. We have windows and whatnot, and we can see for miles. Like there's a field behind us, so they come through the field. We're gonna see their ass.
Right.
But like living in the city is a different fucking beast.
Yeah, I would get out the city. No, I would bounce. Like on God, terrifying. I would.
You're just asking.
Yeah. The thing about zombies, just realistically, because they are just decaying humans for the most part, unless we're just gonna go with like general zombies and not like 28 day later zombies and shit like that.
Where it's a rage virus and
yeah. You in the Midwest, you just gotta wait out till winter.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's pretty much easy pickings to clear cities and towns and stuff. Because the cold is worse for them than it is for us. You know what I'm saying? They slow down to the point or freeze. Down here in the South, summer's our best friend because they just decay incredibly fast, right? Meaning chances are they're going to stop moving because parts and shit fall off more and more, right? And I think that's like a big factor of it too. Like if we were in the Midwest, I think like we would have to prepare whenever it happens. Like let's say it happened tomorrow, right? I think in the Midwest you'd have to prepare for 6-7 months of lockdown. Since it's still pretty fucking cold up there, but it's gonna get warmer before it gets colder again. Hopefully. And then down here, and like somewhere in the Midwest still might be decent if it's a hot summer. If it's hitting 80, 90, you're in the same position as us. Like we're just hitting 80, 90 a couple months before you. You know what I'm saying? So I think like location matters like really, really, really big as well. Like if you're in New York, I feel like New York's the worst place to be.
And it's the thing with zombie apocalypse where like at least in the movie version of zombie or the classic sense of it, a zombie apocalypse that relies on zombie bites, I don't think would make it past a day nowadays. People would lock down and military would take over and wipe it out. But if it's airborne, or like you said, winter, summer would wipe out a reanimated corpse that is only thought is feeding, it would get wiped out pretty quickly. It wouldn't be able to survive. But if it is an airborne virus like The Walking Dead, or a virus that everybody has, that when they die, they became a zombie, that's a different story because eventually, like, as long as humans exist, as zombies exist in that theory, where if it is reliant on just zombie bites, zombies die out. You know what I mean? Like there's an end to zombies where the end to zombies in Walking Dead is end of existence.
There's an end if it's airborne as well. Because eventually someone will be born with like the antibodies to
the immunity,
or the immunity to, stop it. And as long as society maintains a system that works, which I'm sure, honestly, I think it would for the most part, with occasional outbreak here and there. We would get a cure eventually.
Or just learn to live with it, much like everyone else.
Yeah, like the system. Yeah, you just have
like Shaun of the
Dead. But I think that like for the system to work, it would it would have a lot more failures in it because of words and stuff. Sorry, because of people who want to protect their loved ones. Like, let's say if you get to the point where death could be within the next week or something, the government takes you to a facility to make sure that you don't go on a rampage or anything and die. You know, when you die, I'm sure there'll be people trying to protect their loved ones. Yeah. Or like I always had an idea that like nowadays as a zombie apocalypse happened, it wouldn't be like what you would see in like the 2000s, right? Like weapons and everything's so much more available and people are just like more aware of like the potential situation, right? So I always felt like there'd be idiots that maintain the zombie apocalypse because they think they're badass enough to like, you know, go in and kill 1 or 2 zombies by themselves and end up getting bit and then end up, you know, causing harm to their whole like group. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I think that I don't know. I just think we always make these what ifs and shit like that, but I just think like mass hysteria is something that something that we don't ever really think about. Like there are some people who are going to absolutely go bonkers and just start laying into anything and everything. Like you're gonna have some of the craziest things happening.
I agree.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, you look at what happened recently, even in society with riots and all the other stuff. How it's an opportunity for certain individuals to go even more wild and take it to the next step. So I think that it would be quite an interesting experience, and I think it would take probably no longer than 72 hours before things even settle too, because I think that shit would just go so crazy so fast that everyone would be exhausted after 72 hours, and how it's going to be will set in by then already.
Right. Here's another question moving along. You're part of a group, you're leading it. What type of group do you have? You have like just a friendly group that like tries to build their community? Do you have a community that goes out and tries to pillage other communities or things like that, or like some raiders bullshit? Or like what kind of group do you think you would run personally, and how big would you want like your own squad to be?
I would have a reasonably big group, but I'd have a group focused on efficiency and self-reliance rather than trying to, take materials that are already taken or anything like that.
So you're trying to like rebuild society essentially.
Not even rebuild society.
Society.
Just a small group of people that are able to survive by using, means that are renewable versus
Sounds like a cult.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Just some like-minded individuals.
Yep, cooking zombies, eating zombies. You know how it is.
Randy?
No, I would lock down, like try to convince everybody in our area to like lock down, and we would accept people in and like assign jobs, because I think a well-oiled society has a purpose. And so people having jobs give them a purpose. Especially in chaos, like you want everybody to feel like they're doing something.
Right.
And then like you accept people, you attack. We wouldn't attack anybody, but we would defend and kind of like, sounds dumb, but kind of like Rick Grimes. Like you're out, you go scavenge, you come across people, you expect people to be hostile. And like I think I love what I like about Rick Grimes is the question, like, how many zombies have you killed? Why? How many people have you killed? Why? And the answer to that dictate, like you talk with, like if you have a board or whatever, you talk to them, what's an acceptable answer? If they say whatever amount of zombies they've killed and why, as long as it's not 0 and the why is something dumb, like you accept that answer. And then if how many people have you killed, that answer is open for interpretation, if long as the answer is like self-defense. But there's some like, like you have an answer for that as well. And if they answer wrong, then you give them a warning, and then you handle your business.
But like my argument to that is, right? Think about your footprint, and what comes with a big footprint is big problems.
No, true, yeah.
And that's like where I would take the smaller group approach. And as long as you can, set up something that's renewable, self-efficient, you survive a way to survive forever in a quiet little area, your chances of being found are so much more slim, especially if you spend your time learning covert tactics like killing zombies quietly, surveying your land, keeping eyes on everything. You're going to probably survive a lot longer, I think, than a big footprint. That's just my
true, but the downside to that is the reverse of mine. While my big footprint opens me up for invasion and attacks, I also have the means to defend. Where your one, while you're not easily accessible, all it takes is one singular mistake. Someone seeing one of you guys going out on a run or doing something because they just happen to stumble across, and then if they're an aggressive camp, you're screwed because they're just going to run through you at that point.
Until you booby trap the whole fucking area around your house, and people are losing legs from bear traps and hidden saw blades. And
I think I would do small group.
Poison darts.
More of like a raider mentality or scavenger mentality, like kind of always moving. No real home. Everyone, like Xavier said, trained or as best as we can train, I guess, in like surveying land and scavenging and just finding useful shit,
Yeah.
Never really staying at a place too long due to bigger communities and stuff, and I don't want to be seen as hostile, but I also, like, if we have to, are able to defend and or attack something for what we need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of cons to that, in my opinion, and I know there's a lot of cons to it, but part of me rather just be always moving and able to adjust like on the fly, compared to like having a stationary base where if something happened and we have to leave, we're now fucked. You know what I'm saying? So
it's also, but it's like also with the having a base is always good though, because I mean, an area and land that is way better than one that you don't.
Yeah, that's why I said that. Like,
traps.
I understand the cons. Like, don't get me wrong. I get the cons and like the benefits of having a base, but I don't think there's a wrong answer. Honestly,
no, I don't really think there is, because we don't know what would really happen.
Yeah, and like I think like every answer is valid, and like it's however you adapt to the new world, right?
And there's a lot of people in the world, and we don't really think about the scale of like, and we see it in movies, and we're like, oh yeah, mass hysteria. It's like, but like the scale of the world is huge, and when you get a lot of people, like some people would go crazy and try to get groups of massive people and go bandit raiding, and all that, and then you got other groups that are doing the same thing, and then you got bandit raiding group fights, and then that's going to change things because that's going to be happening, and then those groups have even bigger groups and form even bigger groups, and who knows?
I feel you.
Next thing you know, you got the Microsoft Corporation bandit group that controls the northeastern. They have laser turrets, and you move too far in the barren wasteland and you get your dick shot off.
You know what the worst part about it is? As you're sitting there bleeding to death because your dick's gone, you hear one of them go, and we started in a garage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. I think it's a possibility for like zombie-like things to happen at some point.
More so than most other things.
I do not, however, think it would be as big as a threat as we are to ourselves, as you would say, mass hysteria. I honestly think it's something that gets shut down right away. And even if it doesn't, like, I don't think it's going to spread like what people like show in the movies and stuff, or be as effective again, even with like 28 days later zombies where it's like rabies and shit. They die after they should technically die after 3 days with no water, right? Because they're still human. But like anywhere you go, if they're not dressed properly and they like attacking in the winter, they'll die quickly. They'll get heat stroke in the summer from running all day. Like their bodies are still human, you know. If they're like undead zombies, nature's against them. They're probably super slow. Zombies technically shouldn't have the muscle power to bite. You know what I'm saying? Like through clothes and shit like that. So like there's a lot of ways around it. I'm not like, it's not a threat that's like, in my opinion, ever like a scary thing. It's just, again, more the people that take it too seriously.
React to it, yeah.
Which is all right. I mean, it's a bridge that we probably will never have to cross in our lifetime, hopefully.
Right. COVID. Might turn into a zombie apocalypse instead.
Already is. All them people getting vaccines and stuff, you sheeple.
What? I got the vaccine and I'm just fine.
Whoa. Propaganda, dog. We don't do that here.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, shit, man. What's that face for?
Nothing.
Oh, he didn't like my joke. Fucking snowflake.
You know me. Social justice warrior.
Yeah, dude, it's true. Anyways, that was it. That was good to like get your take on zombies. I don't think we've ever talked about it.
No.
Or I've talked about it with Randy on our long drives, but I've never talked to you, Xavier, about it. So it's nice to get your opinion on it.
Yeah. I mean, my ultimate goal for like ultimate goal would be to learn as much, wait for things to settle, learn as much information as possible about the current circumstance, like how things are going to be, and then innovate from there. And that would be like the number one, because if you can find a source of food that's renewable, like that you can continuously get, a source of water, and then you have nothing else to worry about but focusing on your defenses, I think that there is, generations of time that could go on based off of those practices.
Yeah.
Find another group of good-minded people, combine, create a small little civilization thing, a couple of houses, taking up a small footprint, blending in as much as possible.
I agree
100% as well. And yeah, with that, that's the end of this episode.
Dig holes underneath the houses.
Jesus Christ. You want to make a fucking boat on each house just in case?
No, underneath the houses to each house. You know what I'm saying?
No, that one's too much work.
You want that cartel tunnels.
Hold on, pause.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's too much goddamn work. See, you're like that shit. I'm part of your community. I'm leaving. We digging tunnels underneath the house. No, we is not. No, we are not digging tunnels underneath the house. Why the fuck would we dig tunnels underneath the house? What do you know how much like shit you need to do that? You got to support those tunnels. You're gonna have people
pieces
dying.
Of wood. No one's dying.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dude,
well, I hope we get a zombie. I hope we get a zombie apocalypse.
Spoon.
Okay, that's not real. That's not a real thing. That's not a real thing. Prove it.
You can't. You also can't prove that it didn't happen.
Yes, I can. I'll go to Wikipedia or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. What?
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks to all you guys listening to us as always. We really do appreciate it. We always want to know how we can be better, especially Alec.
Yes, please. Thank you. Don't forget to vote on whether I stay or leave.
Shout out to all those people who want to be shouted out to.
See,
the shout out goes to you.
No, you're literally you can't do that. You can't do that. This is why you don't do shout out. Like, right? You can't do that. Oh, shout out to what is wrong with you? End the episode. End it. He ruined it.
Find us at Hypothetically Sound on any site that you choose. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Podbean, Apple, all of it. You know the drill. Until next time, when Alec grows up and does the shout out so Xavier doesn't have to do them.
Dude, he just starts fucking talking.
What's
he just
the drill?
Starts.
The drill is they go, they listen, they rate the drill.
And you don't do the fucking shoutouts anymore. That's the goddamn drill. All right? Stop it. Just stop.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quit it. It's not your job.
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.